Hey guys, you ever wonder what neighborhood should I be looking in? What are the top areas that I should be focusing my home search in if I'm considering moving to Flagstaff? That's questions we get asked all the time, and the good news is we're going to answer that right here on this video. I'm going to make a quick video right now of the top 5 neighborhoods that you should consider if you're considering making the move to Flagstaff. And we're going to base that not off of the high-end luxury neighborhoods. We're going to go off average sales price, good family areas, close to shopping, close to work, low crime. We're going to go dive kind of all into all the details of these right here in this video. So sit down and get ready. What's up, everybody? This is Jason Shafor with the Shafor Real Estate team here in Flagstaff, Arizona. And if this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything about working, eating, sleeping, living, playing right here in Flagstaff, then make sure you tap that subscribe button so that way you're notified every time that we come out and do a new video. And honestly, we get people all the time, every day, who are relocating right here to Flagstaff, and then we absolutely love it. So if you're thinking about it, you're thinking about moving, relocating, or calling Flagstaff a home, a place to stay, then give us a call, shoot us a text, email, nights, weekends, it doesn't matter. We just want you to know that we got your back when it comes to moving right here to Flagstaff, Arizona. So today I'm going to hop right into it. I'm going to go over the top 5 neighborhoods that you should consider when moving to Flagstaff. So I've got some notes here I'm going to be referencing down, looking at my notes a little bit. But I want to share some of these with you guys because I think these are good neighborhoods and good starting points for folks to consider when they're making the move here to Flagstaff. Now, these aren't going to be the high-end, ultra-luxury neighborhoods that nobody can afford. We're talking about average price point neighborhoods that, you know, good families, family-oriented neighborhoods in the city limits that you might want to consider when moving to Flagstaff. I will say I have lived in 3 out of these 5 communities, so I can actually attest to some of these that they're great neighborhoods. So I'm going to let's start with the first neighborhood of 5 that you should consider. And the first one I'm going to mention is Boulder Point. Okay, so Boulder Point, let's see, there's 330 homes in this neighborhood. It's located on the west side of Flagstaff. Flagstaff split kind of east side, west side when we're referencing and talking about it. Boulder Point was built in the late 90s, early 2000s. I actually was in high school and actually did construction in high school and even out of high school and worked on a lot of homes in the area. You're going to find most homes in there anywhere from 1,500 to 3,000 square feet. It's comprised approximately 50%, 50% full-time residents, 50% are either have it as an investment or as a second home in there. There are short-term rentals that are allowed in the neighborhood. Overall, it's got a great family atmosphere. There's a small park that is located right in the heart of Boulder Point. And it's just a really quiet neighborhood. It's located close to, you've got Home Depot that's nearby. It's really close to campus, Walmart, shopping. You're about 5 to 10 minutes from almost anything in there. So the lot sizes are large. It's one of the few neighborhoods when it was developed that actually, I think it's probably the last development I can recall that actually has decently wide streets. Some of the newer developments, you can barely, when there's construction or there's 2 people, you can parked on the side of the road, you can barely get by. So that's one of the pluses in that neighborhood. The HOA in there is approximately $160 a year as I'm making that here in 2022. That's always subject to change, but HOA is is definitely affordable. And just a lot of really nice homes in a well-kept neighborhood. They do an ice cream social event, I know, in May every year for the folks there, and they have another community. They do community, HOA just puts on community garage sales, so those are always fun in there. But Boulder Point should definitely be at the top of your list when you're looking at neighborhoods. Also, some of the larger lots that you'll find in subdivisions are located in Boulder Point too. So let's get on to the second neighborhood that you might want to consider when moving to Flagstaff, and that is the Country Club area. Okay, so Country Club is located on the east side of Flagstaff. That's actually, I actually grew up in that neighborhood, and my parents today actually still live there. So it's a great neighborhood. It was built in the 70s, and Country Club was built around the public golf course. There's also a private golf course, Aspen Valley Golf Course, which is around the Country Club area too. There's quite a few homes in there. I'm going to say there's definitely over 1,000 homes in the Country Club area. There's an HOA in there. It's, I believe, 600. Actually, they might have raised the prices. The prices are always changing on me, so it's hard to keep up. But I want to say it's actually $1,000 a year. You're going to get access to the clubhouse. So they've got a fitness center there, or they've got a pool there, tennis courts, pickleball. It's really great. Great spot to be in the summertime. Also, you've got the Oakmont restaurant there. That's a local favorite. That's really awesome. The east side. So one thing about Country Club is another thing is it was older, developed in the 70s. Super wide streets. You don't have sidewalks in the Country Club. That's one thing I will mention is the streets don't have sidewalks there. Most people, when they are walking on the asphalt in the area. So that's one thing you want to consider. It's not in a very grid. It's kind of spread out. It's not located perfectly square. And you didn't have, when they built that, they didn't do a lot of cookie cutter homes in the Country Club area. What you'll find is a lot of those homes in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and even into the 2000s slightly, but mostly 70s and 80s, is those homes were custom built by builders, local builders here in Flagstaff. So what you'll find is a lot of the homes are one of a kind in there. They're unique. You won't find too many duplicated homes in there, which is really great. Another thing that's nice is you do have large lots in there, which is always a plus. People always are looking for more space, but maybe you're not. Maybe you don't want the space. Maybe you don't want to be raking up pine needles and having to do yard work all the time, which is fine. We'll cover that in some other episodes. But country clubs, we got about it's about 70-30 as far as, I would actually disagree when I did my research. It's closer to 50-50 as far as there's a lot of second homes in the area. That's really where Flagstaff first got started, with people coming up to the valley to escape the heat, is they would buy their second homes in country clubs. So we have a lot of that. And I will add a side note. VRBOs, short-term rentals, are a huge part of the country club. People have invested in lots of money into them, and they've been super profitable. But as of September 30th, 2022, they are no longer doing short-term rentals. They will not be allowed in the country club area. So that's going to be affecting a lot of people. I would anticipate we'll see some inventory increasing because of that. Not sure how they're going to police it yet, but it's something you got to consider. If you're moving there, it's great. If you're looking to relocate there and be a full-time resident, people end up, they love that area. I'll say another highlight about it is being on the east side is it's a little quieter. You don't have the campus, you don't have the traffic. You're kind of on the other side of town where you don't have to deal with a lot of that stuff, which is a real plus for a lot of locals, that they really enjoy that about the country club area. So one other note is, this is a really hard one for people, is they don't allow, there's not fences allowed in there. The HOA does not allow fences. So if you have a large dog, it can be a challenge for some folks that I found that have helped move there. Is you can't have fences. We've had some approved, some shorter ones. There are certain guidelines, but it can be super challenging. If you've got large dogs, country club might be out for you. But overall, in general, great family neighborhood, been around a long time. Lots of nice houses, very well kept, large lots, some of them on the golf course, quiet, safe, awesome neighborhood to consider if you're moving to Flagstaff. So now let's get on to the third neighborhood here that you should consider, and that is University Heights. Okay, this is another Flagstaff staple neighborhood. This is located on the west side of Flagstaff, close to NAU campus, hence the name University Heights, right? It got developed in the 70s. And we seen there was a couple different phases of it. Development actually continued all the way into the 90s, and a few homes were built in the early 2000s. Most of the building took place between the late 70s, 1980s was a large chunk, and some into the early 90s. University Heights does not have an HOA. So a lot of folks love it because they can put their camper on the side of their house. They can put the boat on the side of their house. A lot of people, they store their boat there. They love going to Lake Powell. It's a big thing in the summertime here for folks. So they're going to go ahead. They like to store stuff outside the yard. They don't want an HOA hassling them. That's a huge plus for a lot of folks. Some folks, they just don't want to deal with that, with an HOA telling them what they can and can't do. That being said, some of the homes in there, they do have stuff parked out front. You might want to consider that. But overall, there's a lot of pride of Flagstaff there. People do take pride that live in there. Overall, it's very pleasant to drive through that neighborhood. There is a lot of tall, mature pine trees and ponderosas in there. It's really nice. It's located on the west side, kind of like Boulder Point. It's close to Walmart, Home Depot, University. Well, you're about 5-10 minutes from downtown right there. Just a great neighborhood, but keep in mind without the HOA, there are some short-term rentals in there. But overall, you're going to find a welcoming neighborhood. A lot of Flagstaff locals that it's a highly desired area. Large lots, very large streets in that neighborhood. Also, there's D. Miguel Elementary School is also located in that neighborhood, which, believe it or not, I believe that was the last elementary school that was built in Flagstaff as far as a public school goes. I was actually in elementary school when it was being built. So it's been there quite a while, but that's located in the heart of D. Miguel. So that is nice if you're considering moving here with kids, is you do have a neighborhood, you do have a school right in your neighborhood that your kids can essentially ride their bikes to or walk to, or it's a simple 2-minute quick pickup for mom or dad to go pick up the kids. So University Heights definitely should be on your radar when you're looking at neighborhoods in Flagstaff. Great neighborhood. Don't have nothing but anything good to say about it. So let's get on to number 4 here. The fourth neighborhood you want to consider when moving to Flagstaff would be Ponderosa Trails, or I call it Pondy Trails. Okay, now this subdivision started getting built in the late 90s, early 2000s. I personally have lived in there. I actually built a house there in the early 2000s for myself. It went into several sections. There's, as far as it developed, I want to say there was actually 12 development cycles that went through there over the course of time. The latest house is being built in 2017, 18, where some of the newer ones built. But what you're going to find in there, you will see it's got, there are some more tract housing in there. But you're still going to find a good, unique blend where it's of houses and custom homes that were built in there. Holdsworth Keepsake Homes, great home builder here in Flagstaff, did a really good job building some of the homes in there. We see a lot of people that relocate from Gore and other companies that tend to move there. It's got sidewalk system. The streets are a little narrower, the lots are a little smaller, but they're still it gives you enough space, but it's not too much to maintain. Overall, it's just a great family neighborhood of Flagstaff. Also located on the west side, off of Lake Mary Road. Lake Mary is about 10 minutes down the road, so if you wanted to, hook up the boat, do some fishing, some family stuff on the weekend, you're not far from that at all, and you're still close to campus, to NAU, shopping, work. It's just a great overall neighborhood to consider, especially if you're looking for something that's newer, a little more modern. Built in construction versus some of the other neighborhoods like Country Club, maybe University Heights, where some of those homes are built in the 70s. These homes are going to be built up to code and be a little bit newer for you. So consider Ponderosa Trails if you're moving here. There's over 1,000 homes that are in that subdivision. So I highly recommend you put that one at the top of your list. It's a great neighborhood, Flagstaff, and one you should consider when moving here, right? So let's get to the last one. The last neighborhood I want to talk about is one of the oldest in Flagstaff and probably one of the most sought after, and that is Coconino Estates. Okay, so Coconino Estates was actually founded and developed in the 1950s and 60s. There's only 160 homes in this neighborhood, not very many. It's actually located really close to our office right here on Humphreys. So it's located right by downtown, right below Observatory Mesa, right next to the Flagstaff High School there. And you just have a lot of homes that what's so desirable about it is you really get a sense of community when you're there. Of Flagstaff, there's still a lot of people. We're helping some folks that their mom just passed. I mean, she's had the house since 1956 there. So a lot of the homes that go for sale there actually don't even hit the market because somebody knows somebody that wants to move there. But overall, you do have a lot of 3-bed, 2-bath, a lot of remodeled and updated homes that are in that neighborhood. What's so desirable about it is you can hop on a bicycle from the urban trail, ride your bike right here to downtown Flagstaff in 5 minutes and enjoy all the festivities and all that Flagstaff downtown has to offer. You're also a lot quicker, just a real quick jaunt right up to Snow Bowl, so people really love the fact of how you're right next to downtown, you're right in the Snow Bowl. It has tremendous views of the mountains. You've got large streets, you've got large lots. It's just overall a great neighborhood, and if that's something that you want to consider, you want to be close, you want to be in biking distance of things downtown, you want to be really close to Snow Bowl, definitely put Coconino Estates at the top of your radar. It's a great neighborhood, Flagstaff local neighborhood, and couldn't recommend it more. So I hope those 5, I'm going to recap those 5 for you just so you can write those down. So we were talking about Boulder Point, number 1. We're talking Country Club, number 2. University Heights, number 3. Ponderosa Trails, number 4. And we ended it on Coconino Estate. So those are kind of a little bit of summaries on those. Those are top 5 neighborhoods that I would recommend you should consider looking in when moving to Flagstaff. And stay tuned. We have neighborhood tours of all those neighborhoods right here on our channel. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you have any questions, once again, don't ever hesitate to reach out. Love to answer any questions you have about those neighborhoods.